Hey everybody, so thanks for the 110 subscribers. So this is a kind of a bonus one that was done. I made a deal with people. I said if I get to 110 subscribers, I'll release this one early. Um, so what I can give you about the formula about this one is I used the, well, first I'll introduce who it is. It's Vladimir Kozlov. Now you can see, obviously the trunks are a little bit bigger. So what I could have done is I probably could have got the Lex Luger, and I probably could have combine the two crotch pieces to kind of tighten that up a little bit. I'm not too worried about it. You can't really notice it. I mean, he was kind of a very big, burly kind of guy. Of course, he wasn't as jacked in the when he wore this attire. He is more ripped nowadays. He definitely hit the gym hard. The difference, of course, he doesn't have his beard because they didn't make a Mattel figure because he didn't have a beard back then. This is circa 2009-ish. I think that's when he was at his quote main event contender status when he was fighting Jeff Hardy and fighting Triple H and fighting The Undertaker and whatnot. No, then he would drastically drop down the card. I know he was in I think the Elimination Chamber at one point, if I remember correctly. I know that his prospects dropped down pretty quickly. Of course, you can get the Elite in the red, but the formula was basically it looks like the Goldberg torso acetoned off the chest hair. I didn't do that. This torso was actually on a different body altogether. But when I got a better version of, I think it was a Drew McIntyre, I just reheated it. I just put this in hot water, re-cracked the torso, put the torso onto the new Legends Hogan. The Legends Hogan 22, 21. So you could do, you possibly also do the Lex Luger, and it obviously would, get rid of that little bit of, how would I put that? It doesn't quite, mesh up. It looks like the trunks are a lot bigger, but again, unless you're really taking fig photography, you're not going to notice it at all. I don't notice it from afar. It's only when you're up close do you notice it. The arms are from the Kozlov Elite figure. The legs are on. They're not. Yeah, they're on ball joints because I had to switch them out because originally it was a Hogan, so they are on ball joints. I do believe I just used some, not big cast legs. I think I used Drew McIntyre legs that came with the original Ultimate Mesh-Up figure. Of course, I threw on some black knee pads, and the boots are Austin Theory, which he has he has that star emblem, which. I was looking around. I couldn't find anybody with boots that look like that. So the only way to get that design is you paint it yourself. You put your decals on yourself. You might be able to get the basic figure and then mod it a little bit. Because I know that usually with the basic feet, in the earlier ones, sometimes they do mesh well and sometimes there's a little bit of gappage. So some people I've known have taken a Dremel and sawed down a little lower and they've actually got to fit in there properly. I wasn't too worried about it. I mean, you can't really see it from unless I turn it sideways, you can't really see it. You can see there's a decal there, but you can't tell what that is, until you're up close to it. So I haven't decided if this is my only Kozlov I'm going to attempt, or if I'm going to go back and redo the formula a little bit. Of course, I used the basic head. He did have the Elite Screaming head on there, but I did buy the basic originally, and I was like, let's see what it looks like. I prefer it looks better this way. You could go with the Austin torso, or even that Terry Funk torso, which is a little bit bulkier in the shoulders, I feel like, in the chest than the Austin one is. But he was not super cut back when he wrestled in the 2009 era of WWE. He was not, he was burly, but he wasn't cut. So you could easily do that. It would also probably mesh up, again, you'd have to, switch out the trunks, probably to the Lex Luger white trunks. Unless you want to paint your own white trunks, or you could even probably do Jerry. You can't really do Jerry the King Lawler because he's also got a big kind of gutted torso crotch piece. But you usually could find. I'm sure there's other people you can use that are white trunks. Paint yourself white trunks. If you want to go different color. If you want to, also you can just I wouldn't recommend trying to use the Elite lower. Because again, it has that wide gap, so you'd have to really alter that, and you'd end up losing a little bit of it if you wanted his tag team run. But I wanted singles world title run contention Kozlov. Just kept the elbow pads the same. So that's the formula on how I built Kozlov. So, I mean, it does work for me. I don't care. I mean, he looks very bulky. He looks really good. He can do the boot no problem. He's fully playable. He can do a little headbutt thing, fully posable. The build is right. Excuse me. The build to me, I think, is kind of how he was. He was kind of lanky, tall, and it wasn't sloppy, but he definitely had that hard hitting, loose style of just mostly clubbing. That whole tuck down with the headbutt thing he did. He could do that little headbutt where he moves into his moves. Of course, he definitely did pretty generic stuff like the power slam. This picks up the power slam, go wide with it. So honestly, this looks great for me. If you want a different torso, I would recommend the Austin or the Terry Funk, but this is the formula to build Kozlov if you want him looking like this. Thanks for the 110 subscribers. See you next time.